What is going on, everybody? We are back here for Picks and Bans for the third game. And what a semifinals this has been of the Black Twitch League semifinals between Dino Club and the Dryads. These teams knotted up at 1 apiece. Nobody gave the Dryads the time of day for this series, man. And they came out with a huge game 1. However, Dino Club brushed off their suit and fired back in kind. Now we are here into the draft for Game 3. Dino Club making no changes to their first 3 bans. They've opted in for Graves, Fiora, and Ziggs. They have found the secret stuff, the strategy to win. The Dryads, though, they have gone with different bans. This time they have banned away the Lucian. They have banned away the Xin Zhao. However, Morgana still remains. This does open many picks for Rim Almighty, and that might be something to fear. As a first pick, Nunu out of Dino Club. Not exactly what I would have expected.
Yeah, that's definitely a little bit off the wall here. I think, once again, going into Rerob's comfort pool, but Nunu's a really difficult champion to sort of take away the utility from, because that biggest snowball ever is just so annoying to deal with.
Biggest snowball ever? No problem. You pick a champion that can run away from it. Hecarim, the lock-in here. Man, like, these are some weird jungle picks. I do like Hecarim, though, although he is not necessarily jungler he used to be, and it's really the assassin jungle meta. I feel like huge team fight disrupting ultimates are just so important. Yeah, they followed up with a Vayne, so there will be no opportunity for Rim Almighty to take the Vayne. This is going to go into the hands of Pixel Wolf. I don't think I've ever seen Pixel Wolf play Vayne.
Yeah, Pixel Wolf Vayne is something that is a little bit different, to say the least. And
it's the dark technology.
It's the dark tech, so to speak, but definitely does work well considering the front line that Dino Club have already drafted for themselves. They sort of just counterpicked themselves by picking that Maokai into the Vayne.
Well, you know what? That's a pretty smart move by the Dryads then, because now you're just saying, all right, dude, are you really going to pick Maokai into this? And Hoff says, yes. I don't think there's a world where Hoff is not going to pick Maokai. The world could be burning. The groves could be dead. The temperature could be increased. And he'll be like, I still pick Maokai.
Yeah, and that's
pick
off the
for
wall
Dino
too.
Club. Yeah, that's a little bit different. It feels like, are we being trolled? Are we sure that these are the correct picks? If you were to tell me that these two teams are going to pick these champions going into Game 3, I'd be like, dude, they cooked up some weird strategies. I'm talking Walter White type of cooking getting done here. As Rakan, the pick, is able to move around. He's very quick. That's why his ultimate's called the Quickness. Lots of CC for the side of Dino Club. They're looking to keep down the members of the Dryads. And with the last pick of the first rotation, that Seraphine was open, and now I have questions.
I think this Seraphine, this Vayne, actually, you know what? This Vayne might not be going into the ADC position.
Yeah, I'm like, now I'm curious where this thing's going. And you know what? Vayne into Maokai is pretty good if you're Vayne.
It's pretty banging.
Maybe this was an elaborate bait, and now maybe the Dryads have just gotten all the picks that they've wanted. And you know what? If they're happy, this seems like a draft strategy they're pretty happy with. So far, I think they're doing the right thing here. They've got some impactful ultimates, and they've got a hyper carry. Like, that's a winning strategy.
Yes, I think that considering Shifo and their Hecarim, how strong it is and how strong we've seen it come through, it is interesting to see the response to that, which is the Maokai Rakan. This doesn't do anything into the Hecarim ultimate. Hecarim's still going to be able to get into your backline and dodge away from a lot of that crowd control and be able to dive onto the unknown AD carry and unknown mid laner thus far. Albeit, Dryads have a little bit of an interesting choice with the Seraphine coming through as well as the Vayne and the Hecarim already, but I'm waiting to see what these teams pull out, because it seems as if Dino Club kind of took their really good draft from last game and just threw it out the window, and Dryads as well in some ways took their really good draft from game 1 and were like, no, we're not going to try that again.
Well, they do have a lot of moving parts, a lot of potential flexes here. So it could be, I mean, they could just be throwing off Dino Club here. However, those flexes aren't going to matter too much because they do have the first pick of the second half. So now you're going to get a lot less value out of those. The Dryads, they opted to ban Xayah and Jin. Xayah, incredibly strong right now. If you've seen her new builds, she does so much damage. It's not even fair. They've gotten just so much buffs, and it's absolutely insane to watch, and it's very scary. Meanwhile, Dino Club, they've said, you know what? If they threw an Orianna on this team, we'd be very scared. Take that away from Tanner, who had a pretty solid performance in Game 1, and take away the Alistar from OP9 Lovers, so they're not going to be able to play that reliable engages. Gangplank is the pick for the Dryads, and I'm not sure if this raises more questions or gives us more answers.
I have no idea what's going on. And I'm supposed to be the analyst, right? So
yeah, this could be a Gangplank mid, I guess, but then it's a Gangplank top, then it's actually a Pixel Wolf Vayne. Maybe OP9 Lovers plays a lot of Vayne, and they're just gonna go, hey, Pixel Wolf's gonna play Seraphine this game, go the support item, and then Vayne, OP9 Lovers is gonna pick Vayne and just farm up and be the quote unquote support. I don't know. It's not like they might be pulling out the secret tech. I legitimately just do not know what they're going to do. All I know is that Dino Club has locked in Eye Patch Mommy. She is ready to go, and she is going to try to rip everybody apart with an Inferno trigger. And once again, Dupless has looked at the team composition and determined, Ziggs is going to work here. Or, not Ziggs, Fizz is going to work here.
Yeah, and Saffron Sista is going to be coming down to that bot lane. Really like this actually coming through because it gives a lot of agency to move around in these fights where mobility is king. And wow, Dryads is going to go all in on this Hecarim sort of deal. I actually like this draft now with the Galio coming through. Hecarim comes into the backline, Galio jumps on top, and you get the Seraphine ultimate across everyone. You have the Cannon Barrage. It's really focused around the Vayne though, and this is Pixel Wolf's Vayne. From what I can tell, this is going to be Pixel Wolf pulling that through. Either Tanner,
no idea. Who knows?
Yeah, this could be Tanner pulling this out in the mid lane for the Seraphine and Galio support.
Listen, I'm putting my bets on OP9 Lovers to be playing.
They swapped. They swapped last second.
Wait, they did? Wait, what?
They did. Yep. OP9 Lovers is currently queued up in the ADC position.
Yes! I am a genius! Yes! I am so smart. Oh my god. League of Legends Nostradamus right here. There is no way. I don't know what's more crazy. The fact that they're running with that or the fact that I actually got that right. I am not the smart one here. So, team composition, Dryads. This team comp... Frigs. Everybody knows what I wanted to say there. This team comp is awesome. The Galio last pick hard counters the Fizz and the Samira. All right, you're going to Inferno trigger in the team. Nope. Taunted.
Yeah.
Seraphine ultimate. While you're taunted, you can't put out your wind wall. Seraphine ultimate. Follow it up with a Hecarim if they're gonna engage on you. If you want to engage on them, you got even more options. However, there is one big question with this team composition. OP9 Lovers. I mean, clearly they have a lot of confidence in themselves that they're gonna play the Vayne here. They threw Dino Club for a loop. I think Dino Club is going to just try to take advantage and say, you know what, the support's going to play AD carry. Let's just kill him.
Yeah, this is, man, this is just, I'm trying to sort out my thoughts on this draft because there's a lot of different parts here. The Nunu coming through, the Gangplank, the Galio, the Samira. All of these champions are very pivotal in how this game will turn out because last game, we saw the Jin Karma come through. Just meant that Rim was able to walk up, get an auto attack down, walk away. On the Samira, you full commit or you don't commit. And that's something that can be rather scary into the Galio, as you said. But the Rakan can change that up as well. If Rakan is baiting out that taunt really early by going in with that quickness, if you have a big knock-up, Samira can just get into that backline and get at least a second and a half of that Inferno trigger off before she potentially gets canceled out. So
is that enough, though?
It might be enough. It really depends on how this laning phase goes. And Vayne Seraphine, honestly, kind of a really awkward lane into Samira Rakan.
Yeah, I don't know how well this is going to work. At the very least, Seraphine is going to be able to keep Vayne healthy, is going to be able to keep Rakan Samira at bay if they're able to whittle them down. If they get hard engaged on, Pixel Wolf needs to be very careful with the way they position. Coach Kirk, as we've seen, an incredibly talented support player, will punish any misstep you make, and if you die, you will fall behind. I know that's a controversial statement, but it's true.
I think the main thing is that Vayne has to play incredibly safe level 1 and 2. Level 3, she's able to condemn Rakan away. She's able to condemn Nunu away if necessary. And that's really the setup for Samira to go in. She wants to get that slight dash to get in on the knockup, get the suspension damage, then follow up with her EQ, auto attack W, spin around, get her full flare up and everything. If Vayne can condemn the right target at the right time at level 3, it's going to be really pivotal. But what I want to see, considering that this Nunu's on blue side, red bot. You just straight up do your red buff and then go bot lane. You get that level 1 all in, because if Rakan takes W, if Samira takes her Q even, or her E, it doesn't really matter. You have the ways to kill this Vayne Seraphine lane really early on and get that snowball rolling for Knife Mommy.
We will see if that is the pathing that RareAdam takes. It looks like this one might be a RareAdam game, as Nunu can definitely run the map a little bit faster than the Hecarim can. We will see if this Dryads team composition is able to get online. We are going to take a very short break as we are in the spectator delay, but do not go anywhere. This is Game 3. If you watch the draft, you will be amazed by how this Game 3 is going to be. And if you just turned in, the Vayne is not the AD carry player. They're the support player for the team. We got players playing out of position, doing some real crazy things, putting together some crafty team compositions. I'm excited. I know Adam's excited. I don't even have to let him speak. Everybody should be excited for this one. Do not go anywhere, because this game is pivotal. Yo, all right. So I realized that there was a lot of excitement in that draft. And now we got to pull it back a little bit because we're still at level 1. But man, it's so hard with a series like this. Best of 5 series. Winner goes to the finals to meet Maria's dungeon. Dino Club versus the Dryads. Dino Club undefeated in going into the last week of the season. Lost their final game. And just not coming out as strong as we thought they were. Tied at 1 apiece. Yo, no way. Do they have the soul read here? What is this? The pincer maneuver! Yucca's gonna have to flash early. The level 1 pincer maneuver. Yo, alright, these guys came to play. I haven't seen anybody do that ever.
How did Coach Kirk get over there?
I don't know. I think Tanner just sat in the mid lane. And Shifo was just in maybe bot side and, you know, waiting for a potential invade. That's a huge move there by Dino Club. Well executed.
Yeah, and by the looks of it, RareAdam going to start on that top side of the map. It is Nunu, so you don't need too much help taking that first camp down.
Advance, because he could just go level 2. He could go, instead of red gank bot, he could go blue gank top.
Yeah, there's a lot of potential here for some sort of nifty maneuvers. Of note, they do know he started on that top side of the map because of this ward on the red buff, as you can see. Also, a ward up here that somehow didn't spot Coach Kirk, of note, so
yeah,
something
I
funky went on.
How that happened. Maybe, did Coach Kirk go over the Baron wall, maybe? Like, I mean, none of us were just paying attention. Maybe he went over the Baron wall and was just slightly out of vision, anticipating that. Whatever it was, I mean,
it was clean.
Yeah, it was crafty. It burns a flash. It was just incredibly well executed. Not too much more you could say about it. Level 2 first for Rim Almighty and Coach Kirk, but OP9 lovers and Pixel Wolf will not be too far behind them as there is a support playing 80 carry alert, ladies and gentlemen. OP9 lovers, the typical support will be in the 80 carry role, but like a true support, still taking exhaust.
Yeah, and taking exhaust on some of these champions is good, but mid lane...
Yeah, Tanner is going to be in a little bit of trouble. He does land the taunt. Big knockup. Wait a minute! Dupless, no! No, he just stepped out of it. Tanner burns the flash, can't finish the kill. Dupless burns the ignite. Tanner trolled by his own structure, but it was nice. It was a nice play, but unfortunately, just the end of it is where it got messed up.
Yeah, a little bit of an interesting play. They get the flash off of Tanner, but Dupless might still be looking for more. Just looking to consistently punish this Galio, and this is the time to do it before he's able to build those Merc Treads and be able to survive that lane a little bit easier. You've got to take advantage of this Galio as much as you can, but bot lane, they're trading back and forth as usual, but this game's interesting. Oh, no!
Dupless doesn't have Ignite!
Oh!
Tanner doesn't have Flash!
Oh, he lives! Oh, he aimed slightly the wrong way, just tried to get the drop down. The slow was good, but didn't have that last auto attack in the air, and oh my goodness, Tanner outplays it by the skin of their teeth, and Dupless had flash available to try and clean that one up, just go 1 for 1, but ends up being a really unfortunate death for the Fizz. But bot side, here we go.
Going to be a really unfortunate death for Pixel Wolf. The flash has been burnt, but it does not matter. Deja vu, he's been in this place before. Last auto attack, Rim Almighty strikes back.
Yeah, and that's the power of the Samira. You got the knockup from Coach Kirk really early on. No condemn coming out from OP9 lovers, and that really cost them because you knock back Coach Kirk there and you save yourself... or you save Pixel Wolf from that, but in the end, unfortunately, Pixel Wolf going to go down, and really well played by RareAdam and Coach Kirk to be able to set that kill up for Rim Almighty.
Yeah, and Pixel Wolf has no summoners now. Like, that is the lane right there. Like, now you are very far behind, and you really can't do much else other than just farm it out until Vayne gets strong later.
Yeah, Vayne's just got to sort of park the bus right now. And look at the itemization coming through from Tanner. Just picked up the Hextech Alternator right now saying, you know what, if you're going to keep going that aggressive, I'll just trade back with more damage.
Listen, he has graduated from Tanner to more Tan. It's Coach Kirk going in. We'll take 1 turret shot, but there's just not... The shielding is way too strong. Pixel Wolf does not have the damage right now. There's not too much more you can do. Just set up these minions for your 80 carry and... Get some gold, you know. You can park the bus down there and hang your hats on Tanner.
Yeah, Tanner's just going to be vibing in that mid lane. Galio, a really safe pick as well. Generally not seen as like a punishable melee pick for a lot of ranged champions. But if it's a melee versus melee mashup, they definitely thrive in that.
You can see the extra damage getting in from that Hextech alternator. It is so much. Channer already at level 6. Dupless not going to be too far behind, but that does mean that Tanner can either just keep farming it out mid lane with Dupless roams around, or can have priority on the roams to get there faster. A little bit of a difference in summoners here. Dupless opting in for the Ignite this game instead of the Teleport like they did last game.
Yeah, the Ignite in the mid lane a little bit more aggressive, but might end up costing them. Puaf, though, what is this?
What is going on? He ate oranges, but I'm not sure if it's going to be K. Is Hoff just absolutely beating him down? Tanner, though, getting knocked up, getting knocked up again, getting knocked up again. They put him in the bouncy house. He's just barely going to go down. Dupless, though, is going to flash away, and Shifo is Shifo v3. They get it done. No, sorry. It's a double kill for Coach Kirk.
Yeah, Coach Kirk unfortunately getting both of those kills, but they're able to win that fight against the level 6 Hecarim. Somehow, some way, they find themselves the 2 for 0, and that's such a positive play for Dino Club. On the bot side, though, unfortunately, Rim Almighty does pay a little bit for it. Unable to really farm that well under that tower. And OP9 Lovers, though, might be in a little bit of trouble. Coach Kirk's coming down.
Uh-oh, that could be bad. Meanwhile, on the top
lane,
there's some trading going on, but OP9 Lovers has been knocked up. He's going to flash away, take a couple of more auto attacks, but that is Vayne flash down, and the threat level has dropped even further, as right now, things are looking pretty good if you're Dino Club early on.
Yeah, and this Nunu pick thus far from RareAdam has been really big because it's gotten them all 3 of those kills just through the setup that Nunu can offer. Going to be hitting that level 6 mark pretty soon, and then you have that absolute 0, but topside, Yucca.
Yeah, Yucca's going to hit the barrel just to get the movement speed. This is pretty close. The heal comes out. There the oranges. It doesn't matter anyway. Off with the solo bolo.
Man, Buff always ends up finding these kills on Maokai just out of nowhere. It's absolutely ridiculous. You'd think that at some point you just ban this Maokai out from this guy because it's been so strong time and time again and just finding leads out of nowhere. And you can see immediately Yucca gonna buy that that Executioner's calling, saying that healing, it's BS. I don't want to deal with it.
Unfair. One person, unfair. Other person, funfair. Solo kill. Lots of gold in the pocket of the Maokai. It does not matter. Hell, he's got a sword and he's got a gun, and he still couldn't take down that tree.
Yeah, you can have everything, but unfortunately, if you can't remove all the scurvy in the world, you can't survive Maokai. Although, if you're getting scurvy from a tree, something's wrong. So,
yo, Dupless, wait, how did he know that? That was kind of crazy.
A big brain, I guess. I don't know.
Dude's got map packs, but he doesn't have enough HP to rumble with Tanner. He misses the ultimate. Wait, Tanner, why is he running away? Shifo is going to go over the wall with that ultimate. Erob very for the Justice Punch. No, the flash return, but it will not matter. He is taunted up, and he is taken down. Tanner picking up his second of the game.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate from both the Fizz and the Nunu there. Sort of going in, going out, not really deciding what to do. The fish missing is really big, but Tanner just a little bit too tanky right now.
Yeah, I have no idea how he missed the fish. It's just, sometimes the point-blank skill shots are the easiest ones to miss.
Yeah, it looks like he just kind of shot it out wide, and Shifo jumping over the wall. But top lane again, no shot!
Yo, Hoff just does not care. Look at the damage. Yucca's got nowhere to go. Things that make you go Yucca in the top lane, as that is another solo kill for the Maokai. Meanwhile, Shifo is going to be able to pick up the dragon. It's an Ocean Drake, but right now, he's taking the Drakes, but man, his top lane needs some assistance.
Yeah, top lane is one thing to note about Maokai. I learned this while playing Maokai support the other day. Maokai has insane attack speed.
Yeah.
He attacks so fast. Like, let's look at his attack speed right now. Not even just for a tree. He has 0.97 attack speed at level 9.
He has more attack speed than a Caitlyn would at in this point in the game.
He has almost as much attack speed,
as Samira, yeah.
Yeah.
He's just like, wait, and they have Noon. Samira's got a Noon quiver.
Samira's got a Noon quiver and a dagger and most
Vayne,
likely attack speed rune.
And Vayne has, boots too and a dagger as well. Like that's Riot, please nerf.
It's what made Maokai jungle really interesting.
Crazy, man. That's ridiculous. Uh-oh. I don't think they know Erob's here. This is gonna be tenuous as Hoff is engaged on to Tanner.
Oh,
Tanner is going to eat the fish. He's going to try to land the taunt, and he does. Here goes the ultimate. Oh, got interrupted. That was such a sick move there. Tanner could be in a lot of trouble as Dupless is going to go forward, but Dupless will die to the turret. The kill going to that Galio, and now Hoff being chased out. Yucca really wants to get a kill here, but it just will not matter. Hoff is just way too tanky at this point in the game.
It ends up being a 1-for-1. Dupless picks up the kill for one onto Yucca, and I think that's perfectly fine overall for them. While you don't want to give Gangplank a little bit of extra gold, you get the kill onto the Galio, which is big, and you get some gold into Dupless's pocket. Has a garage sale worth of items right now, looking to build at Luden's once again, but I think it ends up being not too bad for this side of Dino Club getting that 1-for-1. Oh!
I don't know. There's a power spike on Tanner with that item, and now Pixel Wolf could be in trouble. He's going to try to get the shields out. Do they have the ultimate? Just drop the ultimate.
No!
Oh, he catches Erob! And OP9 Lovers. Uh-oh. Support playing 80 carry alert. First kill of the game for OP9 Lovers. This could potentially become problematic later as the gold lead is beginning to even out.
Yeah, and I think that's just... A lot of that just comes down to the gameplay coming through from... Oh my goodness, where is my camera going? Gameplay coming through from the side of... Why does it keep going over here? Just RareAdam going a little bit too deep, and Coach Kirk and Rim Almighty being too far away. He gets the knockup, but no one's able to follow up on it, and unfortunately it leads to pretty much nothing, except RareAdam dying.
Well, you know what? He had a really strong early game. I think a big problem that, when you take a look at the scoreboard, the big problem that Dino Club has right now is how much of the goal difference is on this Rakan. Like, a lot of it is. Uh-oh. Fish is out. Tanner doesn't have a shield. Shifo, I don't know if Shifo can help him out here. Oh, wait a minute. There's a whole lot of damage. Just perfect. It's frame perfect. And now Rim Almighty's in a whole lot of trouble. Nine Lovers flashing forward, getting a kill. And now Coach Kirk has nowhere to go. He's got no mana. He's got no health. He's got a flash, though, and he's going to be able to get out of there.
Yeah, and OP9 Lovers with that red buff just able to chunk down, find the play that they were looking for.
Lead.
Didn't even use the final hour, but did use both summoners.
CS lead. Uh-oh. Support playing 80 carry alert. Yo, it's kind of ironic that the best lane that they have thrown against Dino Club is swapping Pixel Wolf into support and OP9 Lovers into 80 carry. This could be the secret sauce for the rest of the series.
Yeah, it's interesting to see how this is all turning out right now, because this Vayne right now sort of got a lead that she wasn't supposed to in a lot of ways. We were expecting this lane to be rough for the Vayne, especially after First Blood in that lane specifically went over to Rim Almighty, the kill onto Pixel Wolf, but they've somehow managed to salvage this lane, and now Vayne sitting on a Immortal Shield Bow. She's in good hands.
You know what? Things are looking pretty good here. If you are the Dryads, like, you're pretty happy with the spot that you're in. You scale so well. I mean, you have these impactful teamfight ultimates still that you still have not gotten into a teamfight and actually used yet. And Yucca looking to, they've stabilized a little bit here.
Yep, and oh my goodness. Why are we lagging out again? I don't know what's going on, but
regardless,
on the bot side...
Uh-oh, Pixel Wolf's been engaged on, is going to be knocked up. Are they going to get the ultimate? Yes, they do land it. Dupless, though, is still tanking up that turret.
Oh, no.
And oh, my God, the damage is so huge right now. It's a 2-for-1, and now they've got blood in the water here. They're taking a look, trying to find Rim Almighty, but no, nothing doing there. And it looks like they will continue the push. I don't know. They might want to move over to the dragon. I think there was also a slight pause, and that's why we are having the stuttering. We might want to try to repair that shortly.
Let's backspace it here.
Yeah, let's go. Can we get an instant replay?
And we backspace again because apparently one backspace doesn't work. Let's get an instant replay. That dive kind of sucked. I'm just going to be real. They went way too deep onto that tower, and the cannon barrage on top of it just sort of really ruined their attempt to get that kill. Also, just having Tanner and Shifo in the area really messing that up. And this is the combo that I was talking about in draft. If you get that Gangplank ultimate on top of the Galio and Hecarim there, you're going to get a lot of damage output throughout the fight, and it gives so much space for OP lovers to deal the damage necessary, and despite losing Pixel Wolf, they're still able to get enough resources off of that to really solidify that and make it worth it.
The Dryads beginning to feel it right now as Coach Kirk being chased away. Could be cut off soon by Tanner as the Dragon once again going the way of the Dryads. Here we go. Double taunt landed. Knock up on the Rim Almighty. One more auto attack will do it. The heal is out though. Another summoner burned in this bot lane. And the Dryads, after losing game 2 due to the draft, they said, draft adaptations, adapt to this.
Yeah, and Dryads have sort of come out with all... with their full force once again, and despite a little bit of a rough early game, you know, it's really not panning out. A lot of that is just from Bwaf outplaying the Yucca top lane, but Yucca's been able to pick up a couple of kills just off of that ultimate, so that lane is a lot more even than I believe Bwaf set it up to be, and at this point, it's looking a little bit rough across the map for the side of Dino Club. They've really got to clean up their act and find some of these cleaner dives that they need.
You have to be cognizant of the team fight ultimates that were used. You lost that last fight because you dove and everybody was there in the blink of an eye, including Gangplank, who didn't even commit a teleport. Wait a minute, Tanner, that was such a smooth play. He has figured out the play patterns of Dupless, and this is going to be a developing problem for Dino Club. They need to find somehow, some way to make it happen. They have to get picks where there are just no members of Dryads, and if you're the Dryads, just stick together. Apes together strong.
Yeah, that's what they've got to do. They've just got to sort of keep it together in some ways, but I don't know. With the draft that we saw, it's been a little bit hectic since then, and even now, they're starting to clean up some more of that gold. The gold lead was about 1,000 a little while ago, but now it's only down to 300. I don't really know how this keeps happening, where the gold lead just kind of disappears, but Nunu's on this bot side. They might look for a play onto OP9 lovers.
There are opportunities that they can make, but that shield bow is still up. The exhaust is up for the Vayne. The flash is still down, so there is opportunity to make a play. They're going to clear out this ward, so RareAdam can be in the area and make something happen. However, if he waits too long, Shifo is clearing out the bottom side of their jungle, so we could have some massive worlds collide going on here. Look at the positioning of the Galio. They are ready to try to make a play happen on the bot side. Looks like Hecarim's going to try to come through the lane.
Yeah, Shifo's going to be sneaking down here. Don't think they've been spotted out yet either, so Coach Kirk
is going to be in trouble.
No,
they're going to find him. No, wait, does he not see that he was going to get spotted out by that? They're going to ping him out and walk him away, and you know, Fizz was able to push the wave into the mid lane, so now Fizz has the priority, but I don't think it's going to matter.
Here comes Nunu.
There's so many things that can happen here. Nunu getting that biggest snowball ever. Shifo's been knocked up. He's been suspended. Now going to find Pixel Wolf and does. Here comes the fish, but here comes the Galio. The shield is strong. Is Shifo going to find the engage? And he does. Rim Almighty has been feared. There we go. No,
Inferno Trigger!
What's going on? The Inferno Trigger is popping off. They didn't stop him, but Tanner's going to blow him up. Is this going to be the fight? OP9 Lovers has been rooted up and now has a lot of healing, but I don't think it's going to matter. They're going to have to skirt around the outside of the fight, but Dupless is going to find the kill. But Pixel Wolf is the one running the fight. Tanner very low. Yucca's going to have to try to turn this one around. Pixel Wolf trying to assist as much as possible. He's seen Dupless. He's killed Dupless. Now, can he heal Yucca? No, it's not going to be enough. And Hoff coming up huge with a teleport to the bottom side, saving the fight for Dino Club.
And it looked really rough when Galio got a 4-man taunt onto all of those members. Rim Almighty died so early on into that fight. Unfortunately, RareAdam wasn't really able to get too much effect, but this teleport down from Bwaf was absolutely massive. Picks up 2 kills at the end of it, and just a little bit too greedy from Dupless, looking for that extra little bit of damage onto Yucca. Ends up getting shot in the face and was turned into sushi, but in the end, it ends up being a 4-for-3 in favor of Dino Club, and it's so close. Oh my goodness.
It's 1,000 gold swing, and that's why you put Hoff on this Maokai. He solo carried that fight. Yeah, sure, everybody else has damage, but his target prioritization was A1. Immediately hopped onto OP9 Lovers. OP9 Lovers does not have a QSS yet. allowing them to be in a position to be taken very low, forcing them off to the side, away from the team, away from the Seraphine shielding. It was perfectly played.
Yeah, it was really well played from them, and we'll have to see how they decide to move through this next section of the game, because we're now into the mid-game officially. Laning phase is done. Laning phase should have been done for a while, but laning phase is now officially done. They're going to get this mid lane tower, but
Wait,
might be able to find the fight.
That turn's going to go down. It doesn't look like they're going to go for it. There are opportunities here, but they're just going to take their gold and run away. And now at 20 minutes in, a 1-kill difference between these two teams. The gold lead at a dead heat right now. This series is insane. Call your friends up, be like, yo, man, you want to watch some decent League of Legends? Worlds is over now, but you can watch these teams play, but they're split apart. Yucca's been caught out. Yucca's been rooted. Tanner trying to make things happen, but OP9 lovers has a wall of people in front, and they've been cut off. Rim Almighty's been taunted. Coach Kirk has been taunted.
Oh,
no! Inferno Trigger's not enough! They're so low! They're so desperately low! But they're not able to get it done. The dragon can be secured by the Dryads. That fight on a knife's edge.
Wow. Why did they go for the fight, though? They had priority over that dragon. They just turn and burn that dragon.
They saw them split.
Oh.
They knew. They just saw the split, and they went for it, and I cannot blame those guys for going for it. But Yako was just, they didn't have the damage to burst him out. He was able to survive through the first part of the CC, then gets hit with the second one, but that root doesn't really last as long as you think it does. And they just did not have the frontline damage to get him. Maybe not everybody was there. And Rim Almighty getting cut off with that Galio ultimate. That fight was just absolutely insane. And things just going so well for the Dryads. They played it so well.
Yeah, and all of a sudden this game kind of gets blown open for the side of Dryads. They've got themselves back in the driver's seat after a little bit of a rough play on the bot side. It's looking really good for them. This Vayne, 4-1-5, still very strong. 2 items now. And unfortunately, Rim Almighty just not able to get enough damage on that Inferno Trigger. I think it was because they didn't have the shield bow up. If they have shield bow there, they win that fight.
Oh, absolutely. That would have given them just enough to be able to kill, what, I think 2 or 3 members were going to fall in that Inferno Trigger. And really, I think that a lot of that fight was, you know, while you go to get cut off opponents, you have to focus this Vayne at this point, right?
Yeah, I think the Vayne is one of your main focal points, but it's going to be so hard to take her down because you have to get through a Galio and a Seraphine providing support and peel for that the Vayne. And OP9 Lovers has been playing this extremely well thus far. Really curious to see what the draft plan is for game 4 and 5 at this point, because if this Vayne is you know, something to be fearful of, which I think it is, now you've got a whole nother level to this draft you have to worry about.
Yeah, and you know, earlier on, the Dryads were banning Vayne, and they're going to have first pick next game. They're going to have to force Dino Club to ban Vayne at this rate. Like, that's absolutely absurd. Now, there are opportunities here, speaking in the present tense, for Dino Club. Vayne, no QSS yet.
Yeah, this is going to be... It's just so tight right now. It's so hard to find any sort of tangible advantages, despite the gold lead being in Dryad's favor. The only real difference here is the difference between the 80 carry items. Everyone else is pretty much dead even. Even Shifo here only has that Divine Sunder plus the makings of a Sterak's compared to Nunu with the makings of a Thornmail. So in these fights, it really just comes down to execution, but Shifo has been on point with those ultimates, the Onslaught of Shadows, and gonna have to keep our eye on this Hecarim because I think that's sort of the X factor that really blows open this fight.
Yeah, we talked about it in the draft. Those big team fight ultimates that can create a lot of discourse. I mean, if you manage to find Rim Almighty and you time it perfectly with a Seraphine Encore, you're able to catch everybody, and there's just no blocking there with the Samira win wall. Like, you know, it's hard to execute, but You know, the Dryads have shown that they can, and they found engagement onto Yucca. Yucca is going to have to walk it out here. Is very strong, though. You can see the damage he does to E-Rob, but there's no way of interrupting this.
Oh!
So much damage. He's going to find E-Rob, the flash over the wall. Yucca taking lower and lower. Is going to have to get the movement speed to get out of there, but no. The twisted advance is true.
Pixel Wolf
has been caught, though. But now, Hoff and the top side has nowhere to go and will fall to OP9 lovers. More gold in the pocket of this vein. Overall, a 2 for 2, but look at who gets the kills. It is not good for Dino Club.
Yeah, 1 kill goes on Yucca and 1 goes on OP9 lovers. You get another kill onto Rem Almighty and they'll get this mid lane tower, but Shifo is still in the area, has that onslaught of shadows. You've got to be careful here unless Rem Almighty can get a big playoff.
Rem Almighty does get feared. OP9 lovers in hot pursuit, has been exhausted, is going to tumble backwards, is now Dupless, is about to join the fight. Here comes the fish. It's a good zoning fish, although it doesn't land. But it looks like Dupless might want more. He's trying desperately to get the attention of the vein. Coach Kirk has to back. Rem Almighty very low. They have to back. No, they got it, Coach Kirk, but he will survive. That is huge, as the dragon is coming up in 40 seconds, and taking out the available source of wards would have been disastrous for the side of Dino Club. They catch a break.
Yeah, that auto attack, you saw it just flying towards the base, just a little bit too slow out of OP9 lovers, but regardless, Coach Kirk able to stay alive, and that's going to be really big because this is sole available for this side of Dryads. If they're able to pick this up, they will run over the side of Dino Club here. There's no shot that this team comp is able to stand up to an Infernal Soul Vayne, to an Infernal Soul Hecarim, to any of that, and Re-Rob is on vision. They know he's in this bush.
Yep, and you know what? He's not going to really be able to make a huge snowball here. Hoff, though, very tanky. They're going to try to push him off here. Although Pixel Wolf doing what he can to walk up forward and dissuade with a little bit of poke. Is Vayne now joining the fight. Look at Rakan off to the side, though. This could be an excellent flank. He's going to step out into vision and now has been pinged out. However, Rob coming from the side. Here comes the quickness. It catches 1. It catches 2. It catches 3. Off to the side. Rim Almighty.
Oh, my goodness.
Lots of damage by E-Rob. Coach Kirk very low. Yucca survives. Look at the side as Shifo is going to live. OP9 lovers has found Dupless. Here it comes. We're able to get the kill. What a sick condemn. It's a 4 for nothing. Dino Club tried and Dino Club failed.
And unfortunately, the biggest devastating part of that was the fact that Samira, despite getting her ultimate off, just doesn't have enough damage right now to cut through this Galio, to cut through this Hecarim. And unfortunately, Boff is trying to 1v5 save this Baron. Or this dragon, at least.
He's getting Shifo very low. He had to smite the dragon to keep himself alive, but there was a lot of those. Wait a minute. They're gonna. They can't. Hold on. Somebody needs to stop this guy. It's taken by Hoff. Hoff desperately doing what he can to keep his team alive. The grievous wounds have been so strong, but here comes the teleport, but it's not going to matter. Hoff, oh, wait a minute, Tanner very low. Is he going to be able to kill Tanner? No, the Justice Punch is perfect. Re-Rob, though, looking to chase him down. You need to take out some Barons here. If you're Dino Club, have they found Yucca? I don't know if they have the damage. Almighty walking through, but the Baron-empowered recalls, they're here. Coach Kirk pushing forward is going to go in, but he's going to find many members of the Dryads. The Dryads electing not to pick the fight here. The teams will walk away. The gold has been spent. It's a 6,000 gold lead for the Dryads, but Hoff desperately, as we saw earlier in the game, doing what he can to keep his team in this game.
And this Maokai is just dishing out so much damage just out of nowhere, it seems like. The Sunfire procs are really the ones that are ticking down Shifo and Tanner in that fight, and unfortunately just it was just the little bit of extra time that they were able to buy with that stasis, and man, just it's on a knife's edge at this point, and we just need to see some sort of miracle team fight come out from Rem Almighty. That is their way back into this game. Giving to Samira 3-4 kills in this next fight. Went for the Infinity Edge second instead of the Bloodthirster or the Collector. Those are the two items you normally see. Bloodthirster more defensive, and the 40% IE, 40% crit chance IE is not really the play I was looking for, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, that is not where you want to be, and there's certainly some risk to that. They will be able to get a crit cloak very soon, as Tanner has been engaged on here. Everybody looking to try to make a fight happen. Coach Kirk on the backside is going to catch one. He's going to catch two.
Up.
Pixel Wolf trying to make things happen here. Still has that ultimate. Is going to drop it, but it's going to be blocked by Rim Almighty. Comes the not the Galio ultimate, the Gangplank ultimate. It's going to force away the rest of Dino Club. Meanwhile, the bottom lane, Yucca, holy moly, does a lot of damage to these turrets. 600 gold in the pocket of this Gangplank. A very scary place to be if you are a Dino Club. You're staring down the loaded barrel of a gun.
Yeah, you're staring down the loaded barrel of Gangplank's gun at this point. 7, 4, and 9 has been absolutely massive after a really rough laning phase. Has just been able to pick up kills across the map. That's 4 items on the Gangplank right now. This is how much gold he's able to farm up with that parlay. Just gonna check the stats on that right now. Has plundered about 1,000 gold just off of the queue. And with all of the silver serpents they've been able to pick up as well. They're working on their 3rd ultimate upgrade, I believe.
And you know, while this game has been close for a long time, it looks like I don't think Dino Club has a way in unless a mistake is made by the Dryads, because you saw they can't take advantage of the Dryads' lack of ultimates. They burned Gangplank ult. They burned Seraphine ultimate. They burned Hecarim ultimate. And they're not able to re-engage at all, and they lose 2 structures. They're just not able to take advantage, and sure, you know, they didn't lose any members, but at this rate, Dryads are just going to nickel and dime them to death.
Yeah, and Waff, yeah, that's not the target you want to go for. I'm just saying. that Maokai's tanky.
Yeah, but I mean, if you've got 4 members in the area, including a Vayne, do you really care? As the siege has begun on the top turret, Dupless with a split push, but doesn't have teleport this game, as we mentioned earlier. Hoff getting rooted, taking a lot of damage. Doesn't really have too many ways to heal up now because everybody's out of range. Those Gangplank barrels that were doing nothing before are doing a ton now. However, Dupless beginning to make things happen on the push. The Dryads thinking about recalling here. Rim Almighty trying to look tasty to maybe stop them from recalling, but the recalls will be gotten off, and now the Fizz is going to be chased down. They're going to stop a couple of members, though. This could be a potential fight for Dino Club. So now Tifo is going to be on top of this Fizz, but here comes a teleport coming in. This one is going to be the Maokai showing up, but they're going to desert the rest of the team, as E-Rob is going to have to try to turn away to make sure that Coach Kirk can survive. But now is Shifo able to take the 1v1. The healing reduction is just so strong. Dupless is so low, but Hoff is out of mana. Here comes the Trickster, no! Right into the helicopter known as Hecarim. Down you go, and the teleport wasted. A death given away there, and they just lost any momentum they would have had.
Yeah, unfortunately, Nunu going down as well as the Fizz, and that's 2 key members that, you know, give you some sort of zone control. And with the Infernal Dragon up, they want to get Wuff as far away from this as possible. They're going to be able to zone out the Maokai, and they should be able to take that. Look at the crits coming through on these barrels. That's 1,500 damage.
Absolutely absurd. This Gangplank has hit critical mass. Everybody on the Dryads has hit critical mass, and if you think that critical mass stops, it doesn't when you take an Infernal Soul. And now the Baron has been pinged out by the side of the Dryads. The Baron up in less than 30 seconds. They're going to get their backs off, top off their items, maybe get a couple of potions here as they look to walk it down on Dino Club. Dino Club staring a 2-1 series deficit in the face. But if we know anything about 2-1 series deficits from Worlds, it's that they are never safe. There are opportunities still in this game. But Tanner is going to get caught out here. He's going to be stunned. He's going to be knocked up. But look at how little damage they do. Rim Almighty is not even in this fight. The ultimate is going to be blocked. Here we go. Happen in the back line. They're trying to zone him off. Shifo, very low. Dupless is on top of Tanner. We'll find the kill. Hoff will die.
Oh my goodness.
Shifo in the middle of things, but look at all the damage. Rim Almighty has nowhere to go. Dupless can only watch. Try to get it on the back line. He's going to playful Trickster himself back to the base. It is a triple kill for the support turned 80 carry. OP9 Lovers has 4 lovers in this game, because let me tell you that push down the base. The death timers are way too long, and it looks like the Dryads are going to take a 2-1 series lead.
Yeah, so so much excitement for that it broke your mic for a second there. But my goodness, Dryads come back in full force. They're able to get themselves back up on their feet and pick up a 2-1 series lead. And against all odds, they are on match point.
Ooh, that is that was something.
Yes, that was something. A great performance out of Yucca on that gangplank. So much damage in that last fight. That cannon barrage was just absolutely decimating any sort of chance that they had at getting back into it. But really great gameplay from both sides once again. And man, this is poised to be 5 games. But man, Dryads really put threw the gauntlet down and said, "This is what we can do." You saw OP9 lovers playing support game 1 and 2. No. This is the true power of Dryads, and we're ready to run you down.
Yeah, now if you are Dino Club, what do you do? Like there's just so much that you need to take care of now in these pick and bans, and man, I just don't know if they can. They're going to need to take a very long look, confer with any coaches that they may have on what the draft strategy is going to be going into this next game, because I got to be honest, I don't know if they have an answer for this, because the problem is the Dryads have shown that even if they play straight up, they can still win.
I think Dino Club just needs to simplify their plan a little bit here. Going for the Samira is always risky because it's so difficult to execute properly, especially when the team has a bigger front line. I want to see a couple of champion changes come through, but I think the most important thing is to just sort of simplify things out once again and play to your strengths. And I think that they did that really well in game 2, where they were able to play to their strengths and get the victory with what worked. But we'll have to see how it works out here for game 4.
And we will find out very soon, as we are going to take a short break. But do not go anywhere, because the Dryads, the ultimate underdogs, have put themselves on game point. We will be back very soon with the Game 4 Pro Draft. Grab a drink, grab a snack, grab a couple of friends, because you do not want to miss this.